Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Hala from Egypt, and today we are going to continue the series The Man Who Can Calculate or The Man with Great Math Skills by Malbatahan. I have a surprise regarding Malbatahan. So, the writer himself inspired the Brazilian writer Julio Cesar, who wrote under the fake name, pen name Malbatahan. And Julio Cesar was Paulo Coelho's best friend. I'm going to do whole series about Julio if I get a chance to get the book in Egypt, because as you know, Egypt doesn't have Brazilian literature. We only have French, German, Spanish, American. We don't have Brazilian. So السماء السابعة, the seventh sky, the chapter 8. You remember that Bernice Samir and Hanakte Di Maya were in the palace with the minister, and the minister said, "You two shall work with me in the palace." So they returned on the way back to their hostel that they stayed in. Remember, on the way back from Mosul to Baghdad, they stayed in a hostel. So on the way back, that was chapter 7. I don't want to say because it's really, really stupid. It's not stupid, but it's very simple. They passed by hat sellers, like a hat seller, these hats and stuff like that the Mongols used to wear, and the Persians, highly decorative and beautiful, like the ones that I'm having now, like my dress now. So they stopped by this, shop, and the merchant said, "I have a very big problem. If you solve it for me, I will give you this hat for free, the one that you liked." So Burmese really liked a hat there. So he said, "What is the problem?" And it's really, really simple. If I took from you, if you lend me $700, I give you 250 first installment. So 450 is the remaining. And then the second installment, 200. Then 250 is the remaining. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. But the problem is this. This is the installment and this is the remaining. The installment is in a specific, amount, and the remaining. It happened that this merchant had two other merchants who borrowed from him, and they said, "No, no, 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 no." They gave the installment in a certain amount, and the remaining was in a certain amount. The sum of the installment, like 200 plus 250 plus 200, is 700. But the remaining, if you count the remaining, they are now going to be 700, like a column from the installment and the column from the remaining. One of the merchants said, just realized that one of them gave him the installment in a specific amount that would the sum of it would make 700, and the remaining, so the installment summation on 3 or 4 installment would be equal 700, and the remaining would be also 700. And then Bernice Samir said, "Forget about it. Did you get your money all in all?" He said, "Yes, I got it all in all." The remaining column doesn't matter. The remaining column sum doesn't need to be equal 700, right? If you pay a university or a college or a school, if you're paying for dress or whatever in installment, as long as the owner got all of the amount, would the remaining column matter? If the sum of the remaining column, like she paid 250, the remaining is 450. Now she paid 200, the remaining is 200. Would it matter if the remaining column would be equal to 700? Of course not. So he gave him the hat for free, and when he returned back, that chapter 8, to the hostel, Burmese said, was looking at the hat, all of these Persian hats and really beautiful stuff on the hat. So beautiful. Burmese was looking at the geometrical patterns and he was saying, there is a mistake in it. This hat has very beautiful geometric patterns of leaves, flowers, animals, whatever. And his friend said, Hanakta said, "Do you understand anything about geometry?" He said, "Geometry is where everything is made. This is how everything is made, like my dress, and also any kind of design has geometrical pattern. And the hostel that we are staying in was made by someone. Can't remember if it's the hostel that they're staying in or it's another hostel from the story, but they're talking about a hostel, and he built it in a geometrical pattern. And this geometrical pattern, he asked the people who are coming from Mosul to Baghdad to put their bags, their luggages, and their camels under a sign that says the seven sadnesses or the seven miseries. And then, Hanak Tedimaya asked Burmese, why did he call it the seven miseries? So here, Hanak said seven is a holy number for Muslims and non-Muslims, and even for the atheists, because there are seven skies. There are seven Greek wise people, like the sages of the Greece are seven, and there are seven skies, and there are seven planets, and there are seven wonders of the world. So seven is a holy number. So he just had the sign where people can rest their stuff, written on it, the seven miseries or the seven sadnesses. And then Sheikh Salem, remember Sheikh Salem? The Hanak Tedi Maya's father used to give him a lot of money, and they used to hire him, and he made money in his youth because of Hanak Tedi Maya's father. He told Burmese Samir, of course, they returned from the palace to the hostel to get their luggages or stuff like that. So they said, he said, I have a problem. I have three merchants, and they all have quite a big problem. They sold their cattle, and in return, they got 21 bottles of wine. The Arabs used to drink wine, by the way. This is why we have red wine in Egypt. Like one of the brands is called Omar al Khayyam. So not all of them used to drink, but some of them did. And the problem is that they have full, seven full bottles, seven half full, and seven empty. What to do? They want to divide. So Burmese Samir said, here is the solution in less than 1 minute. The first merchant takes three full filled bottles, one half filled bottle, and three empty bottles. So we are going to divide among the merchant based on quantity of liters. Let's say the filled bottles, each one is having 10 liter, and the half filled is having 5 liter. So the half filled bottles, each one is having 5 liters, and the filled ones, each one is having 10 liters. So 3 filled would be 30 plus 1 half filled, 35. The second merchant would take 2 filled, that is 20. 3 half filled, that is 15. So 20 plus 15, 35. How much would the third do? I will calculate it by myself. So it is, half filled for the second, 3 half filled bottles for the second. That would leave, and 1 half filled for the first. That's 4. So the remaining is 3. The third merchant will take 3 bottles. That would be 15 liters. The first one for the first merchant took 3 filled bottles, and the second had 2, so that is 5. The remaining is 2. So 2 filled bottles, that is 20 liters for the third merchant, plus he already had 3 half filled, that is 35. Next time you have a problem, someone give you 10 pizzas for 3 people, and the 10 pizzas have different sizes. Divide everything based on the sizes of the slices. This way. And while they were seated, they were having dinner or lunch or whatever, and the charge was 30 dinar. So each of the merchant paid 10. And after 1 minute, someone came, like the servant or the slave came. He said, sorry, the owner of the hostel is asking for 25. There is a mistake in the calculation. So he took 5 dinars from the servant and he gave each and every merchant 1 dinar. So the remaining is 2. He gave them to the poor servant or the slave. So they all asked. In this case, we paid 9, every one of us. So 9 plus 9 plus 9. If we paid 10 in the beginning and we got 1 dinar back, so that would be 9. 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 27. Now the remaining is 2. 2 dinars in the hands of the servant. That is 29. Where is the missing dinar? They said, no way. No, it is there. Burmese said, it is there. You were supposed to pay 30. So you got 5 back. 5 dinars back. Each one of you got 3. So the remaining is 2. The 2 were added to the poor servant. Forget about the first calculation. So now he fixed this problem. And now there is chapter 9 in another video. Thank you for watching.